Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night, and let's get started. So, just two things before we jump into the charts. We are in a scenario that right now we don't have anything that we can say, okay, so this is crystal clear. We can see the direction clearly. Okay, so we are going to take a look into some things that are clear in the others that are not in the short term. We are going to speculate about what can happen or maybe how things can develop in the short term, and yeah, so we will try to have a better idea about these things that are uncertain at this moment. Okay, so let's start with Dow Jones. And when we talk about Dow Jones, probably at this moment, all of you guys are familiar with things that are happening worldwide. So the United States, China, the war on tariffs, but we do know this is a Trump strategy to pressure others into joining the level playing field. And also, there is something very, very important that we got to make this clear. So the whole point about the level playing field is against China. Why I'm saying this? So this is not my opinion. This is something that's happening for a long, long time. And some of you guys are familiar, probably already notice how the Communist Chinese Party are doing business. So basically, they were using the World Trading Organization into their own benefit. Okay, so they sign it for the rules, but the rules doesn't apply to them, and they are trying to enslave the global trade so they can become the, let's say, the master of trade and make everybody else submit to their own will. They tried to do this with rare earth before, but they were caught in the process, and they are making enemies worldwide. And in a world that we have free trade, when someone try to cheat and scam others, trying to change the rules and so on and on, it's very bad. But that's what communists do. So let me give you just one example. This is actually two. This is fantastic. Two things that happens with communists. All of them have a inferiority complex. So if you make a bomb, they are going to make a bigger bomb. It doesn't mean it has to be better. It just means it has to be bigger because people will see, oh, we have a bigger one, you see? And they will keep doing this, and they won't be concerned about costs and resources. It is all about not getting behind, okay? So this is also one of the reasons why the Soviet Union or empire fell, okay, collapsed. And the other thing is, just a second. So the other thing is when the communists they are going to do something, they are a power that doesn't act first. They only have the power to react to changes. So for example, when it's against their population, they have some power because there is no reaction, there is no first strike, you see, so there is no there is nothing incoming. So take the United States and China into perspective. The United States is the big boss, the watchdog, people like it or not. In China, it is not, but they behave and speak in a way that may appear that they are a big deal, but they aren't. So what they are doing right now with tariffs, it is just a reaction to the power of the United States, the one who have the cards playing, and they can only react. Okay, so the United States, it's coming to make a deal, but they already shown power. Okay, so we are here. You saw what we are going to do if you don't play by the rules. And when we talk about by the rules, you guys can read about the honey laundering. It is something that China is doing for a long time, and it's not only about honey. Okay, so they are really trying to scam others into their own benefit. So all these things being said, to take into perspective, I do believe that in the short term, the near future, we can see a change or a continuation of what we already have, because we have uptrends, bullish trends that, in my opinion, will resume upside soon. It is not crystal clear as of this moment, but I do believe it is going to be very soon. Okay, so Dow Jones, despite the drop, it's looking good. Yes, it is. This dashed line here represents the average, let's say, value of Dow Jones into this whole range right here on the action. Okay, it's the average value. So right now there is nothing to be concerned. There is nothing special here. Really, there is nothing, because otherwise I would say. Okay, so working range, inside bars, working range. So here we have two bars, strong bars. We remember it was the bullish news, and all of these candles, as you guys can see, are inside bars. If we go into the daily 3 days, you will see we have a single bar, single candle here, and all of it inside. So it is controlled. And as of this moment, I dare to say there is nothing to worry. Things so far, at the moment I'm recording, things are looking good. Okay, so this is the short perspective. Now let's talk about some other fundamentals perspective that are important. For example, just a second. Yeah. So, for example, the dollar itself. The dollar itself, it is not looking good, and we do know why. Because this Trump strategy, and in order to have this level playing field, the United States gotta devalue the dollar for it to happen. There is no other way. It is impossible. So as of today, there are deals done from companies, industry moving to the United States close to $4 trillion and 500 billion dollars. So companies are moving to the US. The US is going to shine again, but there is a problem, because we are already in an inflationary bubble. There is no hyperinflation, none of it. Only inflation. So with all this dream, this vision, what is going to happen? We are going to have more jobs, more people back to work, and these people will start to spend, buy cars, land, homes, electronics, and so this inflation bubble will get stronger and not weaker. So when the Fed say we have, let's say, 2.70 or 3% inflation, okay? So let's say this is 0 and this is 3% inflation, okay? It's controlled, it is not big, but we can't forget that we have this inflation here. And so this is what is piling up: 2%, 2.5%, 2.5%, 3%, 3%. It is cumulative. Okay, so it is not something that, let's say, it is in a static range. It is something that keeps adding to inflation. It adds. Things doesn't get cheaper; they get more expensive. And so there is only one way for this to end. We already talked about this, is deflation. Okay, crash, deflation, it is going to fix everything, but it is not going to happen today. Okay, so all this being said, the dollar is being devaluated. Money, capital is coming back to the United States. Inflation will get worse. And when we have a inflationary scenario, what happens? If you leave your money into a banking account, you are going to lose purchase power. So what people do, people from the markets, wise people, they are going to use this money to buy, let's say, equities or bonds or, stocks, whatever. That's how it works. Okay. This is also one of the reasons I don't believe there is no crash happening right now, because it doesn't make sense from a fundamentalistic perspective, you see? So let's move on. What happens when we take a look into the euro? So I said to you guys not long ago that the euro, the pound, and many other currencies would make a big upside move. So I was right about the direction, but wrong about time. And let me tell you why. We had a clear bearish scenario here. I mean, actually two. Actually three, sorry. So the first is just taking a look at Fibonacci. Okay. Rejected from, oops. So rejected from the 50. Not close to the 50. Rejected from the 50. Rejected from 6180. This is the first bearish clue into a technical perspective. The second one, we could consider all these guys right here as a 100% retracement. Yes, we can. Pay attention. When we anchor the setup in this direction, it is kind of a bullish perspective. Okay, as you can see from 0 to 100 and so on. But it is not bullish. So we have to even pay attention in the way that we draw the retracement to properly understand what is going on. Okay, so if we just draw a line here just for you guys to see, we can see 100% retraction, more than 100, 100, 100 more, 100 more, that there is a breach here. Okay, so very soon, probably very soon, the dollar will start to go down big time, and the stock market and everything else will have a bullish momentum, in my humble opinion. Okay. The other thing is, I recorded in one of the private updates in the Champions Club, if I'm not wrong, it was around November. Okay, because once again, we had a clear. This one wasn't clear at all, but could be. We do know that indexes are not symmetrical, but we knew that it was bearish. But then it made a new high here and here against these two guys. But it is not bullish at all because it stopped on 6180. So once again, this is technical perspective only. So we knew the dollar was becoming weaker and it was about to go down. So the only thing that we didn't know is what kind of event would make this happen. Okay, I should be aware of Trump speeches and his strategy. I probably missed it, but yeah, so somewhat it is fair to say we could have an idea what was going to happen. So one of the targets that are shared into our perspectives and talks into the Champions Club is that there is a big chance that we are going to see the dollar index below 89 points. It's a big chance. So far I'm speculating, but there is a chance. Okay, so if this is true, we can even see, let's say, 84, maybe 82. Okay, so we are still a bit soon. I mean, it's still soon to talk about targets, I have to try to measure and do a better work here to have a better understanding. Okay. So the other thing is also related to the dollar. So you guys remember this? It is not the best indicator, and soon, very soon, in my opinion, this is going to, let's say, will not be reliable or something that we will need it in the coming future. So this is Tether dominance. So Tether dollar, right? Following the fundamentals of the dollar. So the dollar, it's losing purchase power, strength. What is the logical outcome? That dollars are going to move into assets, okay? And we can see this right here in Tether dominance, which means, so let's say in a plausible way, people would exchange their Tethers for, let's say, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, XLM, or whatever. So this is the logical thought, right? And that's what I'm doing. So I think, so right now it's my idea, okay? How I see things in the short term. Probably this weekend, we may see some downside move, not a big deal. But it's just my speculation here. And then next week, maybe we can see or could see a bullish continuation. But again, I'm not sure because we don't have anything clear. So it is just my thoughts for now. Okay. And by the way, this is the orientation that I just told you guys about the Fibonacci setup. As you guys can see, from 100 to 0. So this is the bearish outcome. So you see how tricky it is when looking to the dollar. So we have to pay attention into all these details. They are very, very important. So yeah. So if I'm right, maybe we can see this before the big one, the downside one. And I don't believe, I mean, it's impossible to make a call, but I don't think we are going to see a full setup right here. As right now, the moment I'm recording, we are 64, 16, 16, 32, yes, 64% developed into this structure. So each pivot accounts for 16%. So 16, 16, that's 32. X another 2, that's 64%, which means it's ahead. So we can have a great idea, right? So all this being said, maybe we are not going to see a move like this before going down, okay? I think this can be a trap, something like this, and then bang, okay? It's been a while that in some assets or, even currencies that we are not seeing perfect setups, because if it is perfect, it is too easy to trade and make money. And the market makers are aware of what we do, how we see, so they don't want people making easy money. Yeah. So now let's take a look into Bitcoin dominance. Just a second. Okay. What we need here, it's just a second. Yeah. Okay. Yes, this is fantastic. Okay. So you guys remember the rule for measuring a bear? How we do measure a bear? This is how we measure a bear. Okay. So we have two things here that are crystal clear. The first is, this is a bearish trend. I even shared targets for this a long time ago, that into the future, Bitcoin dominance will be around the 20%, maybe, I don't know, maybe 25, maybe 18%. And those who are going to leave, we'll see. Okay, so back to the present. This is completely bearish, but the only remaining question here is, how much room does Bitcoin dominance have before it's over, before the party is over? I think we are very close to the very end. Okay, one of the reasons is a technical reason, that these grinding lines, they're always bearish and always bad. Always. It's catch up. It's the chop, you know? So, and to be honest, this is a very big sign of weakness, even if we compare in the past, right here. So take a look on the difference on the candles. Candles have power. We saw many power candles. But right now, all we can see, it's little candles. Little. And each single one of them, it's dominated. You see? Chop, dominated. So this is no good for Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin, it is going to lose its crown. This is a fact. There is no, this is no speculation here. So the question is, which coin it is going to take Bitcoin place? I will leave you guys to answer this. I'm not going to mention, but you guys know. Okay, so we have a bearish perspective here as well. And now let's take a look into XRP-USD. Just a second. Yes. So let's start from the monthly. Let's do this. How we do this? Step by step. Oh, baby. So we have a very powerful and strong monthly candle here. Looking fantastic. But until this month it's over, we still have 13 days. Okay, 13 days. I am not going to jump into any conclusion until this month ends. And one of the reasons is, we do know this is a very common behavior into the crypto market, that when we have empty bodies or empty wicks, we usually come back to trade inside it again before things are ready to continue. Okay, so in 13 days, if we go down for a higher low or another low and then come back, we are going to still have the same candle. So it is going to be a nothing burger. Whatever happens, nothing burger. 0 to 10 to 0, 0. You see? So that's what I'm looking for right now, the things that I'm considering the most. Oops, just a moment. We want to see volume. It's probably very low. Yes, it is. And there is something beautiful here. We also want the volume profile. Yes. Or no. Or yes. It is not going to help in bigger time frames. So the first thing we can see here is the U shape, okay, which is no volatility, big volatility, no volatility, big volatility. And then that's how we understand volume behavior throughout time, and this is also connected to volatility. Okay, so there is nothing new. And as we can see, the sellers aren't in control. Okay, also some things that here that we can see is even these 3 monthly candles here that were really powerful was still nothing compared with previous volumes. Even here, take a look here. So do you guys know what this means? We already talked about this in the past. This means that right now we have a stealth buyer's pressure. This is nothing new. We do know how this works. And also, if we take into account or consideration the capitalism disaster, that's how it goes. So it goes down a bit, appears to be a sign of weakness, but there is a lot of buyers there. And so why in the first hand we go down? Because market makers can see where there is a lot of value. Okay, so let me give you one example. Let's jump here on the weekly. Okay, so let's say right now, USD. Okay, so let's say right now there are very little buying orders into this range, to $2.07. Okay, what is going to happen? We are going to stay sideways for a while because there is little buyers. So makers, they have to chase value. And so let's say we have a lot of value in 190, for example here, which is 160, 150, and so on and on and on. But there is a thing. If there is value there and the market makers want to catch that, let's say, value volume, there is also a problem. Why would you sell your coins knowing that it right after it is going to skyrocket? You see, there is a limitation for things that can be done and in the way it can be done. So it is far beyond what we can see with just candles. Okay, so 13 days, right? 13 days. 13 days. Let's draw 13 days. It is going to be May 1st, right? Okay. Let's jump into the 3 days, the daily. Yes, 13 days ends here. Okay, so if we go down, what is going to happen as well? People are going to freak out like they always does. And the fear greedy index is still low, or which means people are still afraid, which is a great signal. Now, we also understand that one of the deadlines on the trial can be June. I forgot it is June. It is not June. Or it is early June. June 6th, if I'm not wrong. And the 60 days, it's on May 25. So this is the 60 days deadline that both parties have 30 and 30 days. And this one here is the post agreement. I believe this is the proper term, which now they are going to do what they gotta do. Please forgive me, I don't know how this works into the United States, the technical process, but they are engaged in heading to the final, to the solution. So once again, let's say that we go down once again before these 13 days. Okay, let's take a look on what we maybe have. I like 1 and 50. Let's follow the pivots. Okay. Now I have a question. So why I'm crossing this candle? Because this candle is a big zero. Okay. And this pivot, I mean, big zero, so there is no change here. Is this a flag? I'm not sure, and I wouldn't trust it, but it appears to be. Okay, because we are still having minor breaches or lower lows, very minor ones. Okay, so in this weekend we can go down, and maybe if I'm right, I don't know, just trying to figure out. On the next week, we maybe see some upside move, or at least let's say we may get closer and closer to the big one. Okay. Let's take a closer look on the 4. So here on the 4, it's could we make a case? For example, let's say there is no more downside, which we don't know right now, right? Could we speculate on an inverted head and shoulders? I think so. I'm not saying it is, but I think it is a valid consideration to look if this is a possible inverted head and shoulders. Okay, so this on the right wing here we had the high, kind of a bear flag, kind of another bear flag. So this is a bearish setup here. It is a little one, and maybe this is a clue of a small falling wedge. So we have 3 little things that are aligning to the possible development of a inverted head and shoulders. And if this is true, once again, what day is the weekend? 19 and 20. 19 in the magic hour. Right here. So there is enough room. If this is the case, okay? If, I don't know. There is enough room to the magic hour to go down in kind of a falling wedge shape that once again aligns with a possible inverted head and shoulders. And if these scenarios are true, if we don't know yet, if the target for this structure, if it happens, it is above 270. Once again, if true, it's above 270. It would be around here, but probably way above. Way above. If it happens. So we are going to learn more about this very, very soon. Another thing that it is very important right now, it's XLM. XLM is a great indicator of how things are developing right now. If we take a look, we could see this bull flag. Yes. But just like Flare, if I'm not wrong, I think it was Flare, we can see such a correction or even development that it still look like a falling wedge but goes down all the way. You see? but it's still bullish. But it appears to be something that it is not. And by the way, this is not a correction. It is just bullish continuation, construction before the big one. And trying to make a case here, just trying. If this scenario on XRP is true, if we go down, we don't know how much, but most likely to make a higher low, we don't know how high it can be. And then if this is true, bang. So we may have kind of a glimpse of how maybe things can unfold. And looking to the technical perspective only, it makes sense. Now when we look into the bigger picture, it is, let me take a look. It is on the 50, probably. Yes, it is on the 50. So once again, higher low into the honey spot, it's fantastic, it is great. Bull flag or not, we still don't know. We still can play this, let's say this game with the bull flag, because again, we could see a move all the way to 780 and it still would be 100% bullish. Not necessary, but would still be bullish. So the standard is 50 or 61. This is the standard. So we are getting close, things are looking great, and we are going to have a much better idea about this very, very soon. Another important thing in very similar scenario is when we take a look into XDC. This is the indecision candle right now on the monthly. Once again, 12 days to go. Still looking good. We went close as to 5 cents as we talked about in the previous video. Let's take a look on the size. So it's still not 61.38 battle. Okay, yeah, not bad at all. But again, there is still room for another 5 cents. Okay, there is room. I'm not saying it is going to happen. Just a technical perspective. Could be, but could be doesn't make magic, right? And another thing that is very, very important here to pay attention is, remember bearish rules for short term. Pivot, no new high. Pivot, no new high. Pivot, no new high. This was a schemic candle, right? Yes, yeah, it was a schemic candle. So going down, pivot, lower high, down, pivot, lower high, down, pivot, lower high, down, pivot, higher high against the previous one. So we are starting to see clues on possible way that we may have a change. Okay, and also let me show you in a way that your eyes can see. I mean, your technical eye. I know you guys can see, okay? Look how it's bending. You see? And we are into the honey spot. So again, clues that added to more clues. So maybe today we could say this. Crypto right now, it's looking good. What can happen next week? We go down. And so many people will say, well, but you said it was looking good, but we are going down. Right about the direction, wrong about the time. And this is happening a lot, folks, a lot. So these days it's been very, very tough to get both things right. But once again, the most important one is to be right about direction. Okay, time, especially dealing with the macro picture, it is not complex, but when things are not clear, they are just tough. It is just hard. But we are starting to have published evidence. Okay. There is only just one more to take a look, which is just a moment. We want Bitcoin. Just a second. Let's go. So first thing we want is the profile. The second thing that we want, let me take a look here. Okay, adjusted. So as we can see, the range that we have more value here is this range. And this is the range that I mentioned to you guys not long ago, probably in the last video, that it is a range, there is a trap. Or in other words, there are bulls waiting. And if bears make any move right now, whatever it is, they will be in a trap scenario. So probably that's what's happening right now. I'm not sure, but once again, things are really looking. I mean, this is probably the better perspective we can have right now. Okay, there we go. So we have, by a matter of fact, a descending channel. Could be a flag. It is fair to say it is a flag. I am not sure, but could be. And once again, this is not the first place. We are starting to see signs of bull flags. So for example, XRP, we have questions. It's a flag or not? Bitcoin, it's a flag or not? XLM, it's a flag or not? So you see, even XDC doesn't have a flag, but have a descending pattern, descending behavior. So maybe, folks, once again, maybe this is the true scenario that we are heading to. Maybe. Okay, I don't know. I'm at this moment, I'm not sure about anything, just trying to figure out. Okay, so if we only consider volume into the daily, the range that holds more value, of course, is $97,000. But if we zoom out, it changes to 90K, and respectively 63, 64, 5, and so on and on and on. But I don't think we are going to see a big traction below it. So here, this one here, probably the most significant, 68. So now the question that we have is, are the markets in general, not only crypto, okay? So we are going down just a bit, or we are going down somewhat big time before the big one. So you see, we do know the direction. What we don't know is shape, form, and time. As the days goes by, we will remove time from the questions, and the shape will be revealed to us very, very soon. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people skeptical, worried, concerned, but I am not in the same boat. Otherwise, I would say things, for example, things are looking really bad. It is disgusting, but right now it is not what I see. Okay. Let me show you just one more chart. Right here. So this is a working chart. Here we have the phones that they are not going to cut rates right now, but they said that if necessary, they would make the market. So it's kind of a blank check, you see? So, hey folks, don't worry. If we go down, we are coming to the rescue. So it is not the time for to be bearish, folks. You see? There are still moves that can happen. And yeah. So folks, please forgive me for my absence. It's still a mission, this search for a nurse for my mom. But thank God, today my mom was a bit better. And yeah, she helped me with some stuff. And yeah, but I'm struggling with time, and please forgive me about this. I'm not active as I was before, but things will become better into the near future. I'm 100% sure about it. So guys, thanks again. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your support, for the kind messages. You guys are fantastic. Please don't forget to smash the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, watch with the dog, the cat, the neighbors, in the party, bring people together. Maybe this video can help someone out there. And we do know that we are not going to reach a lot of people, but one people, two or three, it's enough to do something good, to at least do something that really matters, that can bring value and maybe help people, even in a time of uncertainty, like right now, doubt, fear, and yeah, so together we are stronger, right? Folks, I hope you guys have a blessed day or a blessed night, and then, yeah, that may God bless all of you. And I'm going to see you guys very soon. Thanks again, and stay safe. See you guys soon. See ya.